He was not famous. He was not powerful. He was just a man with a suitcase and a story the world could not process. His name was Mehran Karimi Nasseri, but many knew him simply as Sir Alfred. He arrived at Charles de Gaulle Airport in Paris in 1988. He believed he was on his way to start a new life. But a missing document changed everything. Trapping him in a place meant only for passing through. His refugee papers were lost or stolen, depending on who told the story. Without them, he had no legal identity. No country claimed him. No government accepted him. He became a man without a nation. France refused him entry. The UK refused him departure. He was stuck in the terminal, unable to step outside without risking arrest. The world around him kept moving, but he remained still. At first, people expected the situation to resolve quickly. Days passed, then weeks, then months. His temporary problem became an indefinite existence. He chose a bench in Terminal 1 as his home. He cleaned himself in public restrooms, ate from airport restaurants, and spent his days reading, thinking, and watching travelers come and go. He wrote in notebooks endlessly. Thoughts, memories, statements, identity. He tried to rebuild himself with words since his documents had been taken from him. Airport workers began to know him by name. Some greeted him every morning. Some offered food. Others simply nodded with respect to a man living a story no one understood. Journalists discovered him. Cameras arrived. Interviews were recorded. The world was fascinated by a man whose life had become a silent protest against bureaucracy. Yet in the spotlight, he remained humble. He didn't act like a symbol. He was simply a person waiting for proof he existed. Airports are loud, yet he learned to live in the quiet between footsteps, announcements, and departures. His life became a rhythm of observation, patience, and survival. There is a particular loneliness in watching thousands of people leave while you stay. He saw vacations begin and end, reunions and farewells. Dreams take flight while his remained grounded. Some travelers thought he was part of the airport, a permanent fixture like a chair or a sign. They had no idea he was a man caught in the world's cracks. Legal teams tried to help him. Some nearly succeeded. But every time, one detail blocked the final signature. A missing stamp, a disagreement between governments, a piece of paper no one could find. Years passed. Seasons changed. The airport changed. New terminals opened. Technology advanced. But he remained in his small corner of time. He learned to smile without belonging, to survive without certainty, to live with the uncomfortable truth that the world sometimes forgets people not because they are invisible, but because systems fail. Then one day, after 11 years, Belgium finally offered him papers. He could leave, but something unexpected happened. He didn't want to go. The airport had become his identity. The outside world was now unfamiliar, overwhelming, almost unreal. Freedom felt frightening when confinement had become home. It took more years, more conversations, more encouragement to convince him to step out. But the man who once dreamed of a new life walked slowly, unsure, like a stranger in sunlight. He found housing and support, but he was no longer the same person. The world he had watched for 18 years was different when seen up close. His story eventually inspired a film, The Terminal. But no movie could capture the quiet heartbreak of waiting for permission to simply exist. He lived his final years quietly. His fame faded, but his story remained a symbol of what happens when identity, borders, and bureaucracy collide. He was not trying to be a hero. He was only trying to be recognized as a human being. His life teaches one truth. Sometimes the hardest thing is not to travel the world, but to find a place where you are allowed to stand. He died in the same airport where his life once paused. Not trapped this time, but choosing to be where his story began. Some say it was tragic. Others say it was poetic. But perhaps it was simply where he felt seen. For 18 years, he was a man without a country, but he was never without meaning. His story remains a reminder of how easily a person can slip between systems, and how long the world can take to correct its mistakes. He asked for nothing more than belonging, and that is something millions still search for today. He was a traveler stopped mid-journey, and yet, somehow, he reached every one of us.